What's going on, guys? It's Chaos DTV here, and I got something quite special for you guys. Now, I know some of you may not know that Torchlight Infinite has dropped for a closed beta test 3, and we also have a sweet open beta coming out in October. But today I want to discuss, for some of you guys who may be a bit new to Torchlight or how Torchlight Infinite works, the skill system. So today I'm going to give you guys like a quick little intro to like how the talent trees work and how the skill guide work. Some of you guys who are used to the Torchlight series may be used to this, but some of you who are just getting into the Torchlight world, brand new, whether you're coming from mobile or on PC, this will be a great introduction for you. So for some of you that don't know that you can actually come right over here to the far right hand corner where it's glowing, you pull up the list. Or you can hit K if you're on a PC, or just click it on mobile, and you have your entire skill list. So for some of you, the skill list consists of 5 actual active skills, 3 passive skills, and in each of your actual active skills, you can upgrade this said skill with 3 different abilities by using the energy currency, which we come over here. Basically, this allows you to upgrade your energy. So as you will notice, where I will have energy 14, energy 15, 24, and 41 to unlock. And we also have a energy tree skill list, which you can use to upgrade your active skills to put however many points into it, so on and so forth. So starting off with one, I am playing as the good old Time Wizard. And once you click on your main skill, you come across whatever your main skill, you can actually swap them out. So if you hit change, you come across this plethora of skills, and it's going in multiple different categories, whether it's attack, spell, mobility, curse, war cry, physical, and cold. There's so many builds you can put in this game. Like you never have the same build as the next person, and the build is up to the creativity. So it's not like the devs is force feeding you a build for you guys to use. No, this is just something that you guys can literally just let your creativity draw. Now, I have been playing since the past, I've been playing almost this whole year, pretty much on every closed beta that came out, and I will be joining it in this closed beta test 3, and I will also be joining in the open beta as well. But let's talk about a little bit of these main actual skills. So as my Time Wizard character, he focuses a lot on cold damage. So I have my Ice Lances, which, just so you know, when you hit the change, you can actually swap out, or you can actually buy a skill if you want to. And no, you're not buying a skill with a currency, you are buying skill with in-game currency, which I actually just purchased the Safeguard Ring if I wanted to. And that's one thing I do like about Torchlight. Like, there's no super monetization. Probably there may be something like cosmetic wise, but when it comes to actual in-game creativity, it's all up to you. So as you would notice, that my main skill would be my main actual active ability, and I can actually upgrade this skill with the 3 surrounding ones. So I have the multiple projectiles, so my Ice Lance can shoot multiple times. Then we come down to here, which is the supported projectile skills. When you see that, that lets you know that this ability will only support a projectile based skill. Simple enough. Then if you read on further, it will say that the supported skills gives you 2 extra projectiles, and then the supported skills deal negative 12.5% of extra projectile damage. So yes, you get multiple different projectiles, but you lose 12% in that damage range. Then I can upgrade my Ice Lance even further and beyond with freeze chance, which of course this is all my build that I have going on. It'll probably change later down the line, since this is my first time playing as a Time Wizard. I've played as Commander Moto and as the Gamma the Mage. If you guys want to check out those 2 videos, I'll have them in the top right hand corner. But the freeze chance, which basically supports skills that deal damage. Of course, Ice Lance deals damage, obvious enough. But the main part of this is that supported skill deal plus 17% extra cold damage, and also the supported kills gets a plus 21% chance to frostbite enemies, which if we click on it, which gladly is highlighted, freezing is abnormal state and has chance to be triggered when cold damage hits. The frozen enemy reduces attack speed, casting speed, and move speed by 10%. If the damage is higher than a certain threshold, the enemy will accumulate ice value, and so on and so forth. So when you guys are trying to figure out the skills, always have a decent understanding of what you have in mind. But I do want to touch on to another thing. You will notice at the far top here, right here where it says spell, projectile, cold, and horizontal, that's giving you the aforementioned like warning, like, yo, this is how this ability works. And you should build your build. I repeat again, please build your build after how this works. So let me explain. So I have Ice Lances. It's a horizontal spell. It's also a projectile spell, and it also deals cold damage. You have to keep this stuff in mind when you're setting out your build, so you're not just wasting precious resources of anything of the nature, so you can already have a good jump start throughout your entire time while playing before you get to endgame. So Ice Lances, which is probably the main ability that the Time Wizard has, if we read it, it basically fires a basic projectile that travels through enemies with 2 jumps, which of course, upon hitting a target, a horizontal projectile or chain skill leaps to another target. So it's like a chain reaction depending on who it hits. Then it deals an extra amount of damage called Frost Terror, which it conjures up a frost pool at the target's location, dealing persistent damage inflicting slowly. Keep in mind how it's following that same theme of projectile, and it's dealing cold damage, and it's horizontal. And it's still a spell. So you always want to build your build after that. So with that being in mind, so we have Ice Lances. Then we come up to how we want to upgrade Ice Lances even further. We got multiple projectiles. Once again, as you see, it has the category. It's projectile, and it's also support. So it supports projectile-based skills, which Ice Lances is. So for example, this wouldn't work too much if I used a black hole here, which basically sends out a black hole. But if you notice, it has spell, area, percentage, and erosion. The whole point of this spell is to deal DOT and an AoE type of effect. If I install this, you will notice that this does not work. It won't work because projectiles, I can't use it. It's not a projectile based attack. So just always keep that in mind with your build. But even though it is something that you can do, like I have Freeze Chance here, which is it's a support and it does cold damage. This would not work too well with Black Hole, since Black Hole is not a cold based ability. It is just an erosion ability. It's something to eat away at somebody. It doesn't deal cold damage whatsoever. Then we have the skill tree. So right now I am only level 10, so I can only put energy as much as I can into the different abilities that I want. So depending on my level, I can choose how I want to actually put energy. So as you see, I actually minus down the energy I already put into it. It says I got 0, so I can actually do a complete rebuild of my skills. As you can see, because I took the energy out, it blocks out my ability, because you need energy to be able to utilize these skills. I'm only at level 10 energy, which I can only do, you can gain an energy per level. So let's go back to the skill tree. And I actually, because Ice Lances is my main way of attacking, the only smarter chance was to do was at least add another skill slot. And of course you can add more skill slots per level. So in this case, you can do 0 to 10 to 15 to 50 to 100, and you'll fully max out these skills, and so on and so forth. It's very organized, and you get to choose how exactly you want to be able to play it out. And of course, right down there you get your passive skills, which in this case I should gain at level 15 to be able to get my passive skill. Alongside skills, you also have talents, which is probably going to be the more daunting task. This is why I say this would feels a little bit more like how Path of Exile is. So when we look at the talent tree, you get 3 different talents, one at the beginning of the game, one at level 20, one at level 45. Now, from there, you can further upgrade these talents even more, which you'll get once you get 10 actual skill points or 10 talent points as well. Currently, I've only spent 9, so I need to level up again to be able to fully complete this. But once I do complete this, I get 3 extra abilities, or 3 extra talents that I could choose from. Which in this case, I could choose Beacon, so it gives me plus 30% extra spell damage, but plus 30% extra skill cost. Or I could do Chili, which gives you a plus 20% additional cold damage taken by nearby enemies, prevents nearby enemies from regenerating life. Or I could do Winter, which is a negative 5% enemy cold resistance every 0.2 seconds, stacking up to 8 times, and that effect resets after the enemy moves 2 meters. Now, currently with my build, I'm sticking with a cold build. So I could do something like do like a slow killer with Winter, which just constantly give them negative 5% to cold resistance, so that they'll be able to, it's more susceptible to my cold attacks. Or I could do plus 20% additional cold damage taken by nearby enemies. Depending on who you are, you get to choose the different god or goddess, which depending on the class you are will basically let you know what goddess or goddess you will be having. So in this case, I am a time wizard, so I'm under the goddess of knowledge, which basically focuses on intelligence and only spell and cold damage. But once I get higher and become a better mage, I can use the Magister, which basically focuses on spells and shields. I can do the Arcanist, which basically focuses on cold and mana, or I can do the Spirit Caller, which basically focuses on channeled or elements. And every other class has their own way of focusing on, like you got your main tech, Rahan, he uses the God of War stat to strengthen dexterity. Cameron, he uses the Goddess of Hunting, and so on and so forth. Commander Moto, he uses God of Machines because he literally just uses nothing but summons. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys about today's skill guide. It's just a complete introduction. This is not a full guide into it because I barely have hit in-game. I'll probably save that video for another time. But today I just wanted to show you guys what it was like to just have a decent understanding of like what the skills are. And hopefully you pick a good class, anything that you actually enjoy. Every class is amazing. And just even with whatever class you pick, you can just keep shooting higher and higher and just go above and beyond with that class. Choose what skill you like, what skill fits you the best, and of course, I can always keep changing. So if I want to do an all lightning build, if I want to do an ice build, if I want to do a fire build, if I want to do a dark build, I can do what I want as the time wizard, and whatever you guys choose, have fun. At the end of the day, have fun. That is my takeaway for you guys. Definitely enjoyed today's skills guide. If you guys enjoyed, remember, last thing to note, there are 5 active skills, 3 passives. You can be able to upgrade each main skill from where you're currently standing and deal extra damage from wherever you want to do. Of course, it's all left up to your guys' creativity. But thank you guys for joining me today on my first guide I ever done with a RPG. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was nice having you guys. Guys, have a fun time. The closed beta drops as of this time of you watching. If you can't get into the closed beta, then just wait until October. The open beta is coming out. Please pre-register on Android and iOS and or on PC. And as always, it's been your host, KSDTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
I make a manifest. I don't sleep. That's so weak. Don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny.